Hello students. Now we know that in solids the constituent particles are tightly packed. Now when we say the constituent particles are tightly packed, exactly how they are arranged in the solids, that we are going to study today. So the definite and a regular arrangement of the constituent particles in 3D, that is what we call as crystal lattice. For example, let us consider this as one of the particle. Now the constituent particle can be either atom, molecule or ion. These will be arranged in some specific pattern. In 3D, repetitive arrangement. So this repetitive arrangement of the constituent particles in three-dimensional way, we call it as a crystal lattice. Okay, and each constituent particle will be called as lattice point or space point. Similarly, the crystal lattice can be also called as space lattice. So in this we have seen there is a definite arrangement, repetitive arrangement in 3D. Now here we cannot show in 3D, so I am trying to show it with the help of some figures. Now at this lattice point an atom can be present, an ion or even molecule can be present. If we join the lines of these constituent particles, we'll get some definite geometry. Let us see how. If I join these lattice points, okay, and I will join the lattice point here also, and let us connect them. So we have got a definite geometry, we have got a cube like structure, and this cube like structure, it is called as unit cell. This unit cell will look like a cube. Okay, so what we have to remember in crystal lattice, that crystal lattice is a regular 3D repetitive arrangement of constituent particles. These constituent particles, they are called as lattice points, and they can be either atom, molecule or ion. If we join them, we get a definite geometry called as unit cell. So now we are going to study unit cell. So what is a unit cell? It is the smallest unit in the crystal lattice. When many unit cells combine together, it gives a complete crystal lattice. Therefore, we call unit cell as the smallest but complete unit. And when we arrange unit cells in 3 dimensions, in x, y, z axis, then we get a complete crystal lattice. I will try to show you. Now this is one simple crystal lattice, unit cell. Now this will I will arrange them in x axis as well as in y axis, also in z axis. So you can see slowly a crystal is developing. Slowly a crystal is developing. So we can say the whole crystal is formed because of the repetitive arrangement of the unit cell, which are arranged in, let's say, x axis, y axis and z axis. So a 3D arrangement of unit cell results in complete formation of crystal lattice. Now this crystal lattice, it has particular characteristic. This unit cell has particular characteristic. It has 3 edges, A, B and C. So the dimensions are along the 3 edges A, B and C. Check it once again, A, B and C. Now as we know, there are certain angles between these edges. So the angle between A and B is called as gamma. The angle between A and C, this angle will be called as beta, and the angle between this B and C, this angle between B and C, this angle will be called as alpha. So there are total 6 parameters for unit cell, the edges A, B, C and the angles alpha, beta and gamma. Now based on these 6 parameters, we have 7 types of crystal lattice. So based on these A, B and C and the angles between them alpha, beta and gamma, we have these 7 type of crystal lattices. But remember, it is not necessary that A, B and C they are equal to each other, as well as this alpha, beta and gamma they are mutually perpendicular to each other, and that's why we get different types of crystal lattice. When A, B and C are exactly equal to each other and alpha, beta, gamma are mutually perpendicular, then we call it as the most simplest cubic crystal lattice. If AB is equal but it is not equal to C and the angles of alpha, beta, gamma are 90 degree, then we call it as tetragonal. Similarly, we have orthorhombic, we have hexagonal, the next is rhombohedral, it is also called as trigonal. The next one is monoclinic, and the last is triclinic. Now what we have to remember is the cubic, it is the most simplest one, most basic one, and it is the most symmetrical one. And the triclinic, it is the most unsymmetrical one. Why? Because A, B and C, neither the edges are equal nor the angles are mutually perpendicular to each other. Okay. So with this basic information, now we will study the types of unit cells. The types of unit cell. The unit cell can be of two types. Primitive unit cell and centered unit cell. Centered unit cell, again we have two types, either body centered or face centered. The primitive unit cell is also called as simplest unit cell. So let us study all these unit cells in detail. So here are three types of unit cells. Primitive unit cell, also called as simplest cubic cell. Body centered and face centered. But before we proceed to this, I want to explain you some basic concepts. Now this is a simplest cubic cell or primitive unit cell. Each constituent particle occupying the corners. That means every atom or molecule or ion or constituent particle will be present at these corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all 8 corners will be occupied by 8 constituent particles. Now in case of body centered cubic unit cell, as usual, 8 corners will be occupied by 8 constituent particles. We can consider any type of unit cell, whether it is a primitive one, whether it is a body centered, whether it is a F centered, face centered, always 8 corners will be occupied by 8 constituent particles. That is a must thing. So in body centered cubic unit cells, again 8 corners will be occupied by 8 constituent particles, as well as one will be exactly inside the unit cell. So this unit cell, 8 corners will be occupied by 8 constituent particles. Okay, and inside this unit cell there will be one more constituent particle, and therefore we call it as body centered cubic unit cell or BCC. Coming to the next one, face centered cubic unit cell. Now in case of face-centered cubic unit cell, what is the position of the constituent particles? By default, 8 corners will be occupied by 8 particles, and the remaining particles will occupy the opposite faces, like the first one. For example, if I consider with respect to this cube, okay, let us consider this as a face-centered cubic unit cell. 8 corners will be occupied by 8 constituent particles, and 2 more will be occupying by 2 opposite faces, 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6. So opposite faces, they will be occupied by different constituent particles. So the opposite one, these are the side faces, and these will be the front faces, and therefore we call it as a face-centered cubic unit cell. In face-centered cubic unit cell, along with 8 corners, every face they will have constituent particle occupied. Okay, now we know that there are 3 types of unit cell. One is the primitive, where 8 corners will occupy 8 constituent particles, body centered and face centered. Now the question is, when we are saying one unit cell, they have 8 constituent particles at 8 corners, are they giving their equal contribution to that unit cell, or they have different types of contribution? So to know the number of atoms per unit cell, we have to understand how much each constituent particle contributes to every unit cell. Now consider these 4 unit cell and focus at this constituent particle or this lattice point. This lattice point is a part of this unit cell, as well as it is in contact with 3 more unit cell, as well as it will be in contact with 4 more unit cells which will be placed above them. So I will say the corner particle, it is giving its contribution to 8 unit cells. Again see this one, the corner one, it is given its contribution to 1, 2, 3, 4 unit cell, as well as other 4 unit cell in which it is contact with. So the corner particles always they will give its 1/8 contribution. Remember this one basic fact. Okay, now if the atom is present at the face, suppose an atom is present at this face, then in that case it will give contribution to 2 unit cell. Even if it is present at this face, any unit cell is placed above it, and therefore the atoms or the constituent particles which are placed at the faces, they are a part of 2 unit cells. So with this basics, we will calculate the number of atom per unit cell, and that is what we commonly call as Z. Okay. Now in primitive unit cell, how many atoms are there or constituent particles? 8, each one giving its 1/8 contribution, and therefore in primitive unit cell or in the simplest cubic cell, Z is equal to 1. Coming to body centered one, again the corner particles, the corner constituent particles, they are 8, they are giving their 1/8 contribution, so 1, as well as one more constituent particle which is present inside the cube, inside the unit cell. These 8 corners, they are already a part of different unit cells also, but the one which is present inside this unit cell will completely belong to this unit cell itself, and therefore it will give its complete contribution, and in BCC Z will be equal to 2. Coming to face centered cubic unit cell, in face centered cubic unit cell, again 8 constituent particles occupying 8 corners, therefore giving 1/8 contribution, And now there are 6 constituent particles on 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 constituent particles, they are present at 6 faces and each one giving their half contribution. Just now I have shown you that if a constituent particle is present at face, it will be a part of 2 unit cells. And therefore the constituent particle which is present at the face gives its half contribution, and therefore for face centered Z equals to 4. Now let us summarize the things. For primitive unit cell, the Z is equal to 2. For body centered cubic unit cell, the Z is equal to 2. Sorry, this is 1. And for face centered cubic unit cell, the Z equals to 4. You have to learn these values. Okay, you have to remember this because in numerical it will not be mentioned. Simply it will be mentioned that the given crystal is either primitive or body centered or face centered. So suppose if you want to know the structure of any solid, we must know the type of unit cell present in it. If we know the type of unit cell present in that solid, we will be able to find out its exact structure. Today's video or today's topic is the most basic and the main topic of the chapter. Our real chapter begins from this topic, that is the crystal lattice and the types of unit cell. Now using this concept, in our next video we will be discussing how this packing takes place of these unit cells, or how the particles are packed in different directions. So we'll take a break today. That's all for the day. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.